Okay, I've tried to like lower the vibe and the mood for this video. Not sure if that's really worked, but anyway, I haven't done a girl talk in so long and that just puts me on edge. That's not good for my soul, okay? I need to do these regularly. To me, it feels like we're almost on FaceTime together, and there's something about that just feels so, I don't know, just hits the spot. You know, my iced matcha is joining the team today, so cheers to that. I do these videos not because I feel like my advice is necessarily something you should take. I am no expert, let me just start there. But you know, I've had some sort of experience. I'm 25. Mentally, I feel like I'm about 80. So there's that. I do them more so to kind of create this safe space, like a place of comfort that you guys can come and hopefully make you feel better about certain scenarios, or hearing advice from someone that you don't personally know. Not that I'm a stranger, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you feel like sometimes people in your life could give you advice because they're trying to comfort you rather than just giving you like the raw, honest, I need to hear this kind of answer. Take it or leave it, I won't be offended, but it's here in case you want to hear it. This one I wanted to be real chill, like no certain topic, you know, you can give me a certain scenario, you can generalize a topic for me to talk about, like whatever you want me to do. I asked on the gram, and that's where we're going to get them from. So let's just get started, shall we? I'm excited. First topic of discussion is going to be friendships. This come up a lot, and I think it's because as you go up, your friends almost deteriorate, like the numbers go down, which is never a bad thing, by the way. Sometimes it's for the best. Let me just start there. It's definitely something a lot of us struggle with, which I'm one of those people, by the way, as well. So someone's asked, how do you deal with not having many friends or close friends? Do you always feel so lonely or left out? Do you know what? Friendship losses are genuinely just as tough, or can be just as tough, as relationship breakups. At the end of the day, the bottom line is you're losing someone in your life. And when these people are close to you, they almost feel like your backbone, like your right arm, right? You almost can't imagine them not in your life, especially if they're someone that you communicate with pretty much every day or most days, or they're the person you turn to when times are hard, or it's difficult. I get it, trust me, been there, done that, and I've got the bloody t-shirt, babe. I found comfort in knowing that time's the biggest healer, but also on top of that, I was able to spend a lot of time with myself, and I proved to myself how much I can cope with and how much I can deal with. I was almost able to find comfort in being by myself. This is me just taking the positives, by the way. It was fucking hard. It still is kind of hard to this day. I've good and bad days, right? Like we all do, but sometimes it's harder as well when you don't just lose one person, you lose like a group. Find happiness in that loneliness from yourself. The amount of self-reflection, self-love, just that time that you can spend on yourself to build yourself up, you will be so surprised at. The longer time goes on, the more you're able to do that. The loneliness will almost become not loneliness because you'll find a best friend in yourself. It's a weird kind of comfort. I can't describe it unless sort of you do it. The strength mentally that you build up is special. What I don't want you to do though is get it twisted and feel like you're going to be healed in a heartbeat, because you're still going to have bad days. Trust me, you'll still go on the gram, you'll still go on social media, and you'll see all these people that have the biggest friendship groups, and there's you. Do you want to know what is crazy though, out of everything? Once you deal with that heartbreak, like that friendship kind of heartbreak, and you come out on the other side where you kind of feel healed, you realize that being by yourself actually isn't lonely. What is lonely is being in a room full of toxic people that don't deserve your energy. That is loneliness. Being in a room full of people and you feel like no one's there. It's crazy what time can do. Honestly, time is the biggest healer. Always remember as well, babe, you don't know who you're going to meet in life. Like tomorrow I could meet the love of my life in a friendship sense. Do you know what I mean? Like you never know what's around the corner essentially. So always be open to making new friendships and developing those relationships with people, but you know, it's cool to have your guard up at the same time. Protect what's yours, find that happiness within you, and then you can radiate that onto other people, and the relationships that you will have in your life will just be, well, the best they've ever been. That's what I find anyway. I hope that helped. That got a bit deep, didn't it? Oh, see, this one I love. So advice on how to deal with not feeling like you are where you should be in life. All my friends live with their boyfriends, some are pregnant and engaged, so I guess just having that sort of like comparison to the people in your life. Now, I think what this is, it's almost self-sabotage, right? You see what everybody else has and you see what you don't. Rather than seeing things from a perspective of, no, this is where I am in life, you end up almost feeling almost like a failure. Like you feel like everyone's achieving things and you're not. If there's one thing I've learned growing up, and I think this does kind of come with age, is that it's not a race. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a good thing that you actually like give a shit. Like you're kind of thinking about life and the different aspects of it that you do want to achieve at one point, whether that be moving out into your own place, you know, getting a new job, getting into a relationship, getting married, having kids, like all of these like chapters that you want. I think it's nice that you're, you know, thinking about yourself doing them, but you shouldn't think about those things through other people. Most importantly, it's probably just because you're not ready. You're not there yet. Whether that be like a mental thing, a physical thing, a financial thing, that's perfectly fine. Look, as cheesy as this sounds, right? See everybody as having their own book. In that book, there's all different chapters. And in everybody's chapter, something different happens. It doesn't mean that someone's thriving in life and you're not. It just means that someone's chapter was written differently to yours and that's when they were ready to do it, you know? You see it all the time, don't you, though? Like, you go on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook at all, but the odd occasion I do go on, like, you guys know what it's like. I see people I went to school with that are like married, 3 kids, a house together. Like, they just look like they've got their shit together. You can sit back and you're like, wow. Listen, comparisons are self-sabotage, okay? Annoyingly, it's part of human nature. We kind of can't help it. It's just something that we naturally do. Try not to let your mind take over and ruin that for you. These stages in life are all meant to be really cool, kind of special moments. So don't let your mind almost ruin that because you've seen Becky tick off 5 things already off her list and you haven't ticked off 1. That's fine. You're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to do things at your own pace. Just work hard, manifest, think positively, do your best. And what can people say? What can you say about yourself, you know? This up here is the most powerful thing. Like, it can create things that don't even exist. It's mad. I feel like your mind can almost make you believe things about yourself that aren't even there. Like, it's crazy. But remember, life isn't a race. We're here to work on ourselves. And don't use age either as a comparison to what you've achieved. You've got this. Okay, the next one. Hey, Jordan, I've just come out of Hi, by the way. I've just come out of a 4-year relationship. Any advice on how to heal? 4 years is a long time. When you come out of a relationship, the thing that really kind of swallows you up is the memories, like the time that's passed. 4 years is a long time. Like, that's a big chunk of you. That's 4 years of growing up. I feel like even sometimes a year is a lot. Like, think about how much we change as people, right? It's a long time. And when you've dedicated that time to a certain someone as well, relationships consume so much of your time, your energy, your love, your commitment. They become such a big part of you. It's almost like a personality trait. Do you know what I mean? Like, you almost share half of you with someone else. When they're not there in the beginning, they take that half with them. You feel half empty, right? You look at the cup and it's half empty, not half full, right? Listen, here's my big gal advice for you. Take it or leave it. Everyone deals with this differently, and there's almost kind of no right or wrong. There's better ways, I think. Imagine yourself half full, okay? That half is them and the other half is you. Some people choose to fulfill that half with someone else, playing around, situationships, or getting into another relationship, whatever. I don't think that's the best way, especially if it's just sort of like a get under them to get over them. You know that phrase when people say that? Problem is, that's a temporary fix. You've not allowed yourself to feel and heal, meaning that those feelings are going to catch up with you, right? You'll see a picture of them on your phone, or you'll be scrolling on the gram, or you'll see them out, or you'll see something that reminds you of them, and all of a sudden all these things are going to start bubbling up to the surface, all these feelings, all these emotions, and then we're back to square one. My advice would be to fulfill that empty half with things that you enjoy doing. Now, it could honestly be as simple as, you know what, I'm going to sit down with a face mask on. You know what, I'm going to do my nails. I'm going to sit down with a cup of tea and I'm going to watch my favourite show on Netflix. Oh, I'm going to meet up with a friend and go for a walk, or go for a nice coffee. I'm going to go for a stroll to clear my mind, or I'm going to go on a dog walk, or I'm going to sit and listen to music. I'm going to do makeup to make me feel better. Doesn't matter if it's really small. These small things, you continue to do them. Every day, we're going to fill up tiny bit by tiny bit. Feel what you need to feel. Don't shut it off. If you want to cry, babe, you cry. Get these feelings out in the beginning and then you pick it back up again. Go for another walk. Have another face painting sesh. Have another bath. Like, whatever you need to do to feel good. Time's the biggest healer as well. So you'll start to feel better, and suddenly that second half that feels empty, it's going to be full. Going from being in a relationship to being single, you forget that, like, you can do things on your own. You aren't that other person. You are you. You almost become so adapted to it being like you and blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just seeing you as you. It's sad. Like, of course it is. But sometimes these things just aren't meant to be. And I feel like the longer time goes on, the more you'll realize that. Surround yourself with good things, good people. And it will get easier. Trust me, you've got this. You know the phase of a breakup was like, what am I going to do without them? Oh my God. Like, you just can't see life without them. Oh, trust me. There's plenty you can do without them. And you're going to thrive. You've just got to wait for that moment, okay? What do we have next? I'm moving in with my boyfriend on April 1st. Any tips on living together? So, if you don't know, I do live with my boyfriend. And I have done for 2 and a bit years now. Do you know what? One of the biggest pieces of advice I feel like I could give to someone who's in this position, and I say this to people in real life as well, is that you need to live your lives, well, you will be living your lives together, but you need to live them independently. You will be with each other 24/7, okay? You will see this person every single day. And if you don't do things by yourself, you will start to dislike each other. Okay. The idea of seeing the person that you love every single day is so beautiful, and it is, but you've got to be like independent together. I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of imagine it like eating your favorite food every day. You love it in the beginning, but after a while, you're gonna get a bit bored of it. She still tastes good because it's your favorite, but like, feel like that's a huge part of having like a healthy relationship as well. Like being able to go out and do your own things and see different people, or just spend time on your own. Like if you want to sit in a room in your house on your own, you do that. There's nothing wrong with that, and you should do it. Like that's a healthy thing to do. Like you need you time. You part and do your thing, and then you come back together at the end of the day, and yeah. Oh, especially if you both work at home. Like I work at home, Jake works at home. Like that has to be done. Otherwise you'll just drive each other crazy. What else would I say? Another thing I would say is communicate and make effort a thing. When you live together, it's so easy to get lazy. And I'm not just talking about like doing things. I'm talking about in the bedroom. Okay, I'm talking about spending time together, planning dates. Before you move in together, like you plan to see each other, you plan to do things. So almost that effort is automatically there. When you live together, you forget like, oh, you know, we see each other every day. Like it's fine. But like just because you see each other every day doesn't mean shit. Got to keep that relationship aspect up. Sexually, mentally, physically. Basically try not to get lazy with things. It's very easy to. Don't be fooled. It's amazing to live together, but you'll be surprised how quickly things can go like downhill if you don't kind of step back and look at things. Like even the small things. Right? At the end of the day after work, sit on the sofa together and just talk about your day. Stick on your favorite film, or do you know what I mean? Like just having those little moments together is what's needed, especially when you live together. Oh, and try not to kill each other. Please talk about why taking mental health breaks is so important. I think it's important for people to know how having days where you feel low is normal. Personally, when I'm having an off day without knowing why I'm feeling down, it can be draining and make you feel like you are just being stupid. Would love for more people to know that it's normal and that they aren't overacting or being stupid. I love this one so much. 100% agree with you, babe. Like feeling low, like you're not silly. You're allowed to feel that. And do you know what it is? It's all part of self-care. Like self-care isn't just about hopping in the bath and sticking on some face masks and doing a bit of skincare or painting your nails or doing your hair. Like self-care is a mental thing as well. All the good stuff is in here. Like you can look good on the outside, but it doesn't mean that you feel good on the inside. That's what truly matters. So everybody should be taking breaks. Also doesn't help that though with social media. Like you judge yourself and your life from others online, when in actual fact social media is just this big ball of showing what people want to show, showing the good shit. It's a very, 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 very small chunk of reality. No one wants to show when they're feeling down. Some people as well feel embarrassed to, you know, show people that they're feeling a certain type of way, you know. Step back, reflect, feel what you need to feel, take those breaks. Do you know what? Even if it is silly, like what you're feeling, even if it is silly, so what? Sometimes I catch myself off guard and I'm like, ew, that's an ick. Why am I feeling that? Like I said earlier, your brain can do crazy things. I feel like sometimes it does it though to protect yourself. Sometimes I feel like my brain thinks certain things to like cover all aspects of a certain situation. It's like almost guarding myself. Your brain almost kicks in sometimes and like tells you silly things whenever, I don't know. Anyway, look after yourself, look after your mental health. It is so important. Your mental health is kind of what guides you through life. Ultimately, it makes decisions for you even if you don't want it to. It really does have a big impact on like the things you do, the people you speak to, everything basically. It just impacts you as a person, so you need to look after it. Next up, we've got another good one here. So she said, I feel like I depend on male validation to be happy, and I don't know how to change this mindset as I just don't love myself unless someone else loves me. Do you know what? This one almost ties in with the whole sort of like self-love, finding happiness within yourself, finding that content place in here, because that behavior almost stems from a lot of insecurities that you have within yourself. You want to feel better about these insecurities, so you kind of feed those insecurities with compliments from somebody else. Kind of makes it easier to deal with. That's the easier option, because the other side of it is you can actually take time to deal with this insecurity face on. She said as well, I just don't love myself unless someone else loves me. Do you know what? When you deep that, that's actually so sad. Do you know what? Try to see life like this, right, from a different perspective. So you were brought into this world as like an individual, like one person, right? Everybody else, they're extras. Those extras, aka the people in your life, like whether that be male or female, you know, the people that you seek validation from, they only can make you feel good surface level. The only person that can really get into the core is you. You have full control of that. I think the reason why you're not being able to feel good unless someone else loves you is because you're not allowing yourself time to love yourself. You're not committing time to you. Yeah, having someone else love you is a great feeling, but there is nothing better than the love that you can feel for yourself when you find that inner peace. Rather than kind of living day to day and seeking out things like that, go deeper than that. Give yourself something really to feel. Give yourself something to think about, to achieve. Focus more energy on you and things that you want to do and that you want to achieve in life. And then when these extras come along, when these people do enter your life, you're mentally on a whole another level, and you'll probably find that you're way more in control of your life. You'll understand more about what you want. People will probably stay in your life for longer as well. Everything will change. So you need to just spend more time on yourself, basically. I think people sometimes think that self-love is just walking around like literally being obsessed with yourself. It's literally not. It's way, way deeper than that. I hope that makes sense. Like it is a little bit of a deeper, like trickier one, but you work on yourself every single day as well. Like there's almost no end. There's always things that you want to change and improve on and like be different, but inner peace is what you're searching for, and everything else just kind of falls into place. Okay, this is another question that's come up a lot, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best for this, so but it's come up a lot, so let me try to kind of you know, give some advice. I think it's just because I don't take my own advice with this, so I feel a bit like advice on how to make new friends. Now, the reason why I don't think I'm the best at this is because I'm a very guarded person just from like past things. Normally I'd be like, put yourself out there and you got to do this, got to do that. But realistically, that's just not the reality of the situation. And not everybody feels comfortable to do that, because if they've been burnt in the past, they don't want to experience that again. So naturally you have that guard up. So it's just like a lot more difficult. Plus also just making new friends and putting yourself out there, especially if you're quite introverted, that's just a difficult thing in itself. A lot of it I think is to do with like a mental hurdle. You know, there's things like put yourself in social situations more. For example, if I use me personally, like doing a job like mine, going to events more. You could always kind of take yourself out on a little date, like go shopping. You never know who you're going to bump into. This is the thing with life. Like this is the crazy thing. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I guess another thing you could do is actually kind of do more online, speak to more people. So like comment more on people's posts or interact with people and like more stuff, or maybe even create your own sort of content which allows kind of that side to open up where people can talk to you. You could even be brave and pop up to people. Like what's the harm in that? Like the worst they could do is not reply, and that's cool. Or you could speak and it might not go anywhere, but you've tried, you know, like that's like a step in the right direction. Making friends is definitely one of the hardest things, especially as you grow up. All you search for is peace. Do you know what I mean? That's all you want. You want a peaceful life with the right people in it. My advice, I guess, would be to take the opportunities that you can. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Let's do one more, shall we? How do you deal with FOMO? That's an interesting one. Do you know what? I used to suffer with this real bad. Sometimes I still do. It depends where my kind of like introvert side is at. Like I used to say no to a lot of things, and then I would see people out and enjoying themselves and then get FOMO from that. But like I put myself in that position, which was the most frustrating thing ever, because I'm like, it is my fault, but I want to be there. But like my body's like, no. Like my brain's like, no, but I want to be. Do you know what I mean? Such like a weird kind of limbo scenario. Realistically, the best way to deal with FOMO is to actually like not allow yourself to feel the FOMO. Like just put yourself out there more, right? Go and enjoy yourself and have a good time. I try to see it as well, like if I'm out, like what's the worst that could happen? I can just come home. Do you know what I mean? Like I can take myself out of that scenario. I am in full control of myself. If I'm anxious about doing something, or I'm like a bit nervous about doing something, if I just go, I could go and have the best time of my life. Or I might not be feeling it, or it might be too much, and I can just take myself home and I can try again another day. You'll have days where you feel ready to kind of branch out a bit more. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like sometimes you have those moments where you're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm down to do it. And then it gets to the day and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. You've just got to like push through that and understand that you're in full control of the scenario. If you suffer with FOMO, it's always going to be a thing unless you actually like take yourself out of that, or you get yourself into a place mentally where you're like, I'm big enough and old enough and ugly enough to like understand that I'm cool at home. I'm at peace here. You know, you guys go, you have fun. I'll be here. You know, like, do you know what I mean? I think maybe that comes with age. I don't know. By the way, if you don't know what FOMO is, it's the fear of missing out. I probably should have said that in the beginning. Okay, we are going to leave it there. Do not fret though, because I have a lot more where that came from. I really do hope that this video helped bring comfort. Please let me know if you want me to do more, because I'm more than happy to. It's nice to kind of use my platform for things like this. I'm a real girl's girl as well, so I'm here for the support, baby. I love you guys. Keep thriving and keep trying to be the best version of yourself. Take it day by day, step by step. You've got this. I love you.